Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the initial checkout of a pretty cool wooden wall telephone. These were very sought after telephones, and basically a repair telephone company sent this telephone into us to repair. Their customer sent it to them, and we got a note on it, and it says it's just noisy, so with no other explanation. So we went ahead and I went into it and kind of did a little bit of checking, and we'll get into that in a second, but the repair company, that their customer sent it to them, and then that repair company sent it to us for repair. And that's not uncommon. We get telephones in all the time from telephone repair companies, and basically they send us telephones and we repair them and send them back, and then they get them back to their customer. So I went into this telephone a little bit, and I'm going to show it to you a little. This is the initial checkout. The noise that they were talking about is on the receive side after you break dial tone and then dial a number or whatever, and your dial tone's gone away and you're just sitting there on the raw line, and it's like a rushing air noise. And so I've done some things. It's not the line cord, it's not the handset cord, and I'm going to show you something else they tried to squelch this noise, because it's like an open mic rushing noise kind of sound in the receiver. And I'm going to go ahead and ring this telephone. Let that go a couple times. Give you some dial tone here. And I'm going to go ahead and walk through the numbers. Go pound, star, 1, and end in a 2. I'm going to dial a 2. And I'm going to let you hear this. I'm not sure you'll be able to hear this. But what it sounds like is an open mic on like a windy day, and it's not real super prominent, but it's enough to where it just would bug you to death. And so anyway, what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you I haven't looked in the receiver yet, but I know for a fact it's not the receiver. So that kind of gives you a little look at the receiver capsule. And they have a little insert there to make this receiver capsule come to a certain point so that the cap holds it tight and it doesn't sit there and bounce around inside the handset when you shake it. Now I want to show you what someone did to try to squelch the problem. And we do, if you look here, I do have transmit. It could be a lot better than that. It doesn't seem to be a very good transmit, but it does have some transmit. I want to try to give you that noise one more time. You may not be able to hear it, but the video may not be picking it up. Let me show you what they did on the transmitter. This is I mean, this is all plastic here, and this is a rubber insert. This rubber insert kind of holds that transmitter capsule up. So all we have here is plastic and rubber anyway. So I'm not sure what this tape thing is all about, and of course it didn't work. It's kind of like, I'm not sure what that is, but the tape didn't do the trick. And I guess what happened was to try to repair this telephone, they basically took the connections, because most of these have like a little circle on here that kind of rides on the center contact, which would be the positive contact, and then a clip goes on there, usually a spade clip, and the same thing with the ground on the outer ring. And so whoever was looking at this telephone in the past kind of probably just got frustrated and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and solder this on. But that's an awful lot of solder just to solder these two wires on. And I'm assuming it's not uncommon. Sometimes we do this. We'll solder directly to a T1, a transmitter capsule. But you would never use that much solder, just for the simple fact that you don't want to melt anything in the inside. And it would take quite a bit of heat to get that much solder built up. If you can see how much solder's on there, it's quite a lot just to put two little wires on. So this transmitter might even be not up to par, just for the simple fact that it took too much heat. So a transmitter capsule might have to be replaced anyway, but it's not the problem. So I'm not sure what all this is about. They've got tape, and that's a pretty little elaborate tape job. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but it looks like somebody worked all day on that, but it really didn't solve the problem. So anyway, we're going to give you a look at the back of this telephone. I want to swing it around. I have it open, and I want to give you a look at what these telephones look like on the inside. So basically we have our keypad in there, and then we have our wiring harness running down to a main board. And they still were using the 2500 set bells, and these telephones were put out by some of the different telephone companies, and you could probably get the telephone through the telephone company. They were called a couple of different things: country wall junction telephones, country wall, or wood wall. There was various names. People called them different things, but they were really a well-made telephone. And there's quite a bit to the circuitry on these older ones that we have here. As you can see, the PC board, but it was a really well-constructed telephone, and they're very sought after. We get calls on these telephones all the time. Hey, I'm looking for, that telephone that came out in the 70s and the 80s, and they'll explain to you what it was. And even though it's a remake, these are old now, but they had quality to them. And most of the time what happens is people drop these handsets, and you really can't get these handsets anywhere. You can get some handsets that look like them, and the only time that you really get even this is a little bit different version, because the wood's a little bit different than I've seen on some of them. So, each one will look a little different, but this version of handset you're not going to get unless you parted out a bunch of these phones. You're just not going to get this handset anywhere. You can't just go buy it unless somebody has, saved up some parts from these old phones. And, most of the time these phones are either working condition or people have them repaired. So, there's not a lot of spare parts floating around for these. And I get times where we'll get flooded by people calling, when it rains, it pours. They're like, I've got this certain kind of phone and my handset's broken. I'll always say, well, wait a minute, it's broke right down by the transmitter, right? Oh, yeah, where you put the transmitter, where you're talking to, is broke off. Well, this has got some weight to it. So what it does is, when it hits the floor, it hits off that transmitter and it breaks. It could fall the other direction, but a lot of times it'll fall this way and break. Well, we repair them all the time because there's limited parts for these, and it could get a little costly to search down a handset like this if you can even find it. We do repair a lot of these. I don't think there's been one that I haven't repaired. So basically, you know, they come in all broke up. I've even been known to have to make a plate for the back of them. And so, you know, unless they just like totally destroy it, we repair these handsets all the time. So that's a pretty common thing. But anyway, to get back to the board and the problem, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through this board, and I need to know what this rushing sound is. I'm going to have to go through and test the components and troubleshoot at board level and track down this distinct kind of a, you know, the only way I can explain it is like an open mic on a windy day, but it stays pretty steady. So it had nothing to do with the handset cords, not got anything to do with the transmitter, although I think the transmitter is going to have to be changed because I think they put too much heat on that transmitter when they soldered to it. You know, just from past experience and seeing people do that, that transmitter probably is not 100%. And that might be why we have, I'm talking to it, we don't have 100% modulation really. And I can hear the deadness to it. So I think the transmitter was ruined or damaged when they soldered those connection lines up to it, and so the power lines. So anyway, we'll go through this board and troubleshoot it. I'm going to try to do another video on this telephone because this is a pretty sought after telephone, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm just going to have to troubleshoot it out and find out what we have, and I'll try to do another video on it. This is a telephone in from another telephone repair company, and that's not uncommon. We get a lot of telephones in, but I want to get this repaired so I can get it back to them so they can get it back to their customer, and we'll just go from there. I'll try to do another video. We'll see how it goes, and just take it from there. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. I want to kind of give you a little look at that board and what it entails, and show you a little bit about the components that are on it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.